please welcome Kuya Josh Mahinay.
Hi guys. I've heard a lot of Filipinos saying that it's unfortunate that we don't get to choose our country. With everything that's going on in our country right now, with the pork barrel scam that our top officials in the country are involved, it is easy for common Filipinos like us to kind of drown in frustration, right? In anger, and all the bad feelings combined. Siguro pag narinig niyo yung pork barrel, nanginginig kayo. I feel the same way every day. Unfortunately, we cannot get away with pork barrel thing, or at least its updates. It's flooding in our Facebook, in our Twitter feeds every day, thanks to Rappler. We cannot escape from the issue. In fact, pati si Jollibee, walang kawala, nadamay din. You guys are not laughing, it's a joke. You're not reading your news. This feeling of frustration and hopelessness, and your feeling of frustration and hopelessness, these things are valid. It is okay to feel bad about our country right now. After all, billions were taken from our taxes, from my taxes, from your taxes, from our parents' taxes. But what needs to be changed is the mindset of so many Filipinos right now, and perhaps of some of us here, that there is no hope for this country. That needs to change. You know, growing up in a poor family of 8 other siblings in the southernmost part in the Philippines, in Zamboanga Peninsula, I felt the same way for my life, the hopelessness. I felt the same way when I walked 10 kilometers every day to go to school. I felt the same way when I had to carry my plastic bag with me with my paper and pencil in it. I felt the same way every time I knocked on my neighbor's store to ask for a spare plastic bag that I can use to school. I felt the same way when I go to school and take exams, even without a single meal in the day. I can go on and on with how terrible my life was back then. But this I say, despite what I had experienced in the past, never did I think that my feeling of hopelessness will determine my future. I took ownership of my future. And tonight, I'm here speaking in front of you to challenge you that we take ownership of our future. That we take ownership of the future of our country. It is not cliche when Dr. Rizal said that we are the hope of the nation. Indeed, we are the hope of the nation. Who we are, what we will become, what we do right now, and what we will do in the future will determine the direction of the country facing forward. Last year, I decided to go back to the Philippines from the United States because I felt strongly about what I can do for my country and for its people. With my simple story of growing up in poverty and with the little success that I got, came the birth of my company, Bag 943. At first, I was very scared to come back home, to live my fairly comfortable life in the States. But right now, I realize that it was all worth it. Right now, I realize that it is necessary. It was all worth it for the kids that my company continues to reach out today. It was all worth it for the hardworking team that I have today. It was necessary so that right now I can stand in front of you and tell you my story and inspire you and say, hey, you too, can do it. But hey, you too can do it. I hope you believe and you recognize that you are special. I believe that each of you in this room has something special to offer to our country. You are never too poor to give. You are never too busy to serve. You are never too young to do something. And you are never too ordinary to do great things for this country. Unless we realize that we are meant for greatness, this generation of Filipinos will continue to fade in the background. Instead of telling you right now what you can and what you can't do, or what you should do for the country, I'd like you to take out your pen. Come on, take out your pen. Everybody got to have a pen. I want you to write in a piece of paper that one thing that you want, that you can, and you are willing to do for the country. I'll give you 30 seconds to do that. And when you do, I want you to be specific. I will not accept, I promise to love my country. I want you to be specific about it. I want you to be intentional about it. If you don't have a pen, you can use your smartphone or anything to do it. I hope that everybody's writing, because there's got to be something that you can offer to our country.
Kahit mahirap sa pagsisikap, ang karangal ay natanggap. Ang king katalinuhan, linis ng kalooban, naging puhunan tungo sa
Alright, your 30 seconds is up. Before you go to sleep tonight, I challenge you to take a glance at what you wrote. Before you sleep tonight, I want you to sleep with it. I want you to wake up with it. I want you to eat with it. I want you to eat and go to school and go to work with the thought of it. I believe in this generation of Filipinos. I believe that this generation has the potential of becoming great if we all realize that we are the change that this country is waiting. Bag 940 to me is not just a story. Yes, it is my personal story, but it's also my offering and service to this country. I was not there 1986 of the EDSA People Power Revolution. But I am here right now, continually fighting for this country that refuses to give up. Now I leave you with a question. Ano ang people power mo? Ano ang people power mo? Thank you. Mabuhay ang kabataang Pilipino.
Maraming salamat, Kuya Josh. I know a lot of people from our audience tonight were moved by your message.
Meanwhile, pagpatuloy natin itong program, marami tayong natutunan mula kay Kuya Josh.